Good afternoon, NASCAR fans. We are here for the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 from Texas Motor Speedway. Going to be a few differences here this year. Turns 1 and 2, they've taken the banking from 24 degrees down to 20 degrees, as well as extended it from 60 feet wide to 80 feet wide, just to kind of make the two ends different. So turns 1 and 2, we're probably going to see a lot more passing. It's going to be crazy on restarts. Probably going to see 2 or 3 wide on restarts there. And with new pavement, it's probably in the long run is going to turn into a lot of single car backed up racing. But this stage racing should definitely help with those restarts to make for an exciting race, that's for sure. We're going to have a look at the sheet and some of my favorite picks here. I did get my article finished over at dfsr.com with my post-qualifying practice picks. It's right here on the main page. When you click on that article, it's going to take you in. We're going to find the link to the cheat sheet. Right here at the bottom, we're going to click on that. We're going to open the cheat sheet, and like we always do, if you want to sort it, what you're going to want to do is go and make a copy, name it whatever you want, click OK, and it's going to load up here another one. While that's loading, we're going to go over and take a look at the race by race trend sheet. So as you can see, I got a column here, difference from last week to this week in price. So just to kind of look at the guys that took a big hike. Obviously Brad Keselowski, he's up $1,000. Martin Truex is up $800. Clint Bowyer's up $800 this week. Ricky Stenhouse took a jump. Allmendinger's got the biggest drop at $1,600 this week. Almirola as well. We'll get into Almirola. I think he's going to be a good play this week. Denny Hamlin, Jimmy Johnson still struggling a bit. He's fastest in final practice. We'll get into that as well. He's dropped. Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. Kyle Busch is below 10K. I mentioned it in the article the first time since back at the Daytona 500, so there's some value there as well. Let's go back and look at the cheat sheet for a second now. So now that we're in here, we can sort the columns. Right now we're sorted by DK dollar, so we're going to scroll over. I went through in the early article, looked at some of these trends of the last 2 years track history and stuff. So if you want to have a look at that, my write-up on that, I've taken some snippets from the cheat sheet here and put them in that article. But for now, we're going to concentrate a little bit more on final practice. The practice and qualifying times and the overall model this week. So final practice, like always, is going to be the most weighted. I took history 2-year rank down a little bit just because it's a new repave and turns 1 and 2 are completely different than they were before. So in a way, it's going to be a bit going to like a brand new track for the guys. I've got form now that we've got lots of form entered in there. I've got form up there as well. So looking at the overall rankings, number 1 this week, we got Chase Elliott. He missed getting through tech inspection at qualifying, so he'll start 33rd. He came out really fast, 5th and 2nd in final practice. So not only does he get good practice qualifying differential, he's had success here. He finished his 2 races in his rookie season inside the top 5. So he looks to be a really good play this week. I'll have lots of him. Number 2 and 3 on the list is right at the top. We got Brad Keselowski and Kyle Larson. Brad is starting 5th, so he's going to have some opportunity to get some dominator points. I think he can get up there and lead some laps, whereas Kyle Larson's starting 32nd. He's going to be a little more riskier than some of the other place differential plays, and as you can see, there's quite a few this week, just because he hasn't had the greatest success here since 2014. He had 2 top 10s here in 2014, and in the 4 races since, he's finished no better than 14th in any of those races. So a little risky there, but he looks like an elite driver in the series, and he was 2nd and 3rd in final practice, so definitely going to be a GPP play there as well. Kyle Busch comes in 4th on the model. He's starting 34th. They didn't get through tech inspection either. He improved through the final 2 practices as well. He's had some success here. He won this spring race last year at this time, as well as he's finished inside the top 5 in each of the last 3 races here. Actually 5 straight, and 7 of his last 8 races here he's finished in the top 5. So he's probably going to be, even though he's 4th in my model, he's probably going to be my favorite pick this week to get in there, seeing that he's under 10K this week. On normal weeks, we see ownership with 1 or 2 drivers in the top tier with that place differential, usually qualifying at the back. This week with so many, I think it's going to really help spread the ownership out. So I think you can really fit 2 or 3 of them in a lineup and then differentiate a bit. One way to differentiate, I think, is with Jimmy Johnson. He qualified 24th, but he had to change tires in qualifying, so he will go to the back of the field. Now, DraftKings will only count place differential from his 24th, and I think that'll have a lot of people going away from him just in the fact that he'll be starting behind all the cars that completely missed qualifying altogether. So he's got a long way to come through the field, but he was fastest in final practice, so I think he's a good GPP play this week. It's impossible low ownership, and his price came down, like I said, like I think another $900 from last week. So he makes a great play this week. In the 7K range, the two favorite drivers I like had a little contact. Eric Jones is going to be in a backup car, but it was good to see that he was 13th fastest even in that backup car, and he's starting 36, so he's going to be a good play at 7,600. Casey Kane's the other one. He hit the wall in final practice a little bit of damage. I believe they fixed the damage. I'm gonna have to check into that. You have to check my Twitter account if there's any changes for that, if they're going to be in a backup car or not. Starting 35th, a little risky because they didn't show a whole bunch of speed, so I think he's going to be like 5% owned. So GPP play for sure. Going down into the 6K range, there's 2-3 guys I like here. Trevor Bayne's going to be risky. He's starting 12th. He did show some top 10 speed in final practice, but 12th, there's not a whole lot of room for place differential value there. So I'll probably, like, if I'm doing 20 lineups, I'd probably only have him like maybe once or twice. Allmendinger I'll have a little more, probably in that 4 to 5 range throughout my lineups. I'm going to need it with all the top guys that I like this week. He was 7th in practice too, 15th in final practice, starting 16th. Eric Almirola's starting back a little bit farther, 18th, and he showed top 10 and top 5 speed in the final practices, so he'll probably be my favorite at 6,400. Probably, if I do 20, I'll probably have him in probably close to 7 or 8 lineups, my GPP lineups. Interesting one is going to be Michael McDowell. He qualified 13th just with all the guys. It's a weird qualifying. There's a lot of low-end guys that you wouldn't normally see in rounds 2 and 3 in qualifying, just because of all the 9 cars that didn't make it through tech inspection didn't actually get a qualifying run. So we see Michael McDowell, Landon Castle are starting inside the top 15. Michael McDowell did show top 15 speed, but starting 13th, I just don't think you can really expect anything more than a top 25. So I won't have much of him here this week. And that's about it. If you have any questions up to the race, I'm going to be around. I'll be on Twitter at Jaeger_bombs9. You can always reach me on there as well. You leave a comment down here as well on the article, or you can jump into the chat. I'm going to be in the chat tomorrow morning, probably around 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern. Going to be on there for a couple hours, so just jump into the chat. When the chat window opens up here, click on the menu chat, and that's where you'll find the NHL PGA NASCAR chat. Open it up, and this is where you're going to find me, Chris Durrell, right there. Other than that, thanks for reading, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Smash that like button, and good luck tomorrow, everybody.